Happy Vlogmas, everybody. It is the 12th of December, Monday the 12th. I didn't vlog yesterday because we were very busy. We had John and Barbara. We watched the football on Saturday evening. England didn't win. It's always the case, isn't it? But anyway, I'll have to shift my allegiance to my other blood, the half of the blood that's in me, which is French. So I'm going to have to support France. Yesterday we went down to Leeds to take Mummy for a lunch. She wasn't in a good mood. She was saying she was very tired, and she was I don't know if she's had another mini stroke because her eye was kind of closed a bit. But she having said that, by the time we sat down and had a meal, she picked up. She still wasn't 100% like she usually is. She wasn't her bouncy self, but she was you know, she was a lot better. It's her birthday on Thursday. She's 96, so she's doing all right. You know, I mean, you can't expect her to be, you know, running marathons. At least, although she's quite capable of it, I'm sure. Her partner struggles with his walking sticks. I think he's going to see if he can get some sheltered accommodation. He's been filling forms in for that. Then we came home, and you know, I was just on the Saturday night. I spent all the Saturday evening coughing. I think it's because I talk. I think when I talk it makes me cough. But anyway, I spent all the Saturday evening coughing. I slept well, but Sunday morning I started coughing the minute I got up. And then I was coughing all yesterday afternoon when on our way back, and I just said, oh, I really can't be bothered to vlog. I just want to sit and watch the TV. Something we don't do. We never watch TV, but we sat and watched. What did we watch? We watched Come Dancing. I haven't been watching that at all, but we saw the semi-final of Come Dancing. What else did we see? We watched something else. Oh, I saw a film was on, and we watched Miracle on something street. Miracle on 32nd Street. The one with what do you call him, Attenborough? Richard Attenborough, who played Santa Claus, and they believed he wasn't Santa Claus. So yes, I watched that. Very good. Now, I told you I do eBay orders, and the eBay orders I've been sending out, but Royal Mail is on strike, and I'm being messaged all the time saying, where's my thing? Where's my plate? I ordered it. And unfortunately, I posted some things on December the 1st, and they still haven't received them. I have currently that many orders to get out today. 19 of them, actually. There's 19 orders here. And the only way I can get them out, because this gentleman said, can you send them any way that's going to get them there? It's a customer of mine. And the only way I can do it is either by, well, I could send them by what used to be Hermes, but apparently I've just been reading the news and they're stockpiling their stuff. They've got too many to deliver. There's possibly DPD, or I'd have to upgrade all these to a very expensive Royal Mail to make sure they get there. But I'm not carrying the cost, the customers are. So there's lots to do. So I'm not going to take too long in talking to you here. I might come back later on, I don't know. Leather gloves. I started sewing the leather gloves while I was sat at home, while I was sat in the sitting room the other day, and I learned to. Unfortunately, I didn't get very far. Because I didn't have a leather needle, which I have now found. A little leather sewing needle, and a leather sewing needle is a triangular one with a three sharp edges, so it pierces through the leather. Although the one I did have was very good, but the major thing that I had a problem with was it was black leather, and we were not wanting to have bright lights on in the sitting room and keep the electricity costs down. It was a half light, and I couldn't see the stitching. I couldn't see where I was and where I was going, so I thought, oh, this isn't going to work in this light. So I'm going to have to either do it in the morning or do it in daylight where I can see what I'm doing. It's hand sewn. Previous ones that I've done have been hand sewn, and I like hand sewing rather than hand sewing gloves. So I'm debating whether I should carry on hand sewing or whether I should try them on the machine sewing the leather gloves. But I don't know, I just like the pleasure of hand sewing, so we'll just have to wait and see how I feel about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up with some of the things, and you'll get it very quickly. The Jackie Lawson video, there'll be yesterday's and today's. The one on the musical Advent will be yesterday's and today's. And what's the other one? The other one is the little house will be yesterday's and today's. And there will only be one Sherlock. I know some of you, a lot of you enjoyed listening to his lordship. A couple of you said they preferred me. We couldn't understand the wording. We weren't sure if you said you preferred me or you preferred him. But I said to him, it's me they prefer me. Anyway, he says he wants to do it again. So even if you prefer me to him, you're going to get him again. Well, I don't know what else I'm going to tell you at the moment. I've got, as I say, I've got all these orders to do. These are plates for camper vans. People who renovate and what's it, a camper van? They recondition, they take a van and they turn it into a camper van, and obviously the weight of it changes. So I do what you call a VIN card, which does the weight of the car, of the van. What does it tell you? It tells you the weight, the year, the axle weight and so on. So I have to, his lordship's putting them together for me, and basically we print them off and create plates for them. I have, I was reading the instructions of these, and I'm kind of, what was I going to say? Not overly enamoured by the instructions, because the pattern that I used for my other gloves was by a glove maker, and I was looking for it because I suddenly thought, oh, I think I might just follow the instructions on the other one, but I can't find where I put it. I think I may have it in here somewhere, so I'm going to have a good look around. It used to be a glove maker called Staith's, and I don't know if they're still doing them. Staith's. I actually had a template for gloves as well. Staith's gloves. Oh, they're called just gloves, I think now. No, that's not them. Anyway, there's a slight difference in the pattern. The thumb opening on a proper pattern has like a little V to it, and the thumb piece sets into the V. I don't know if you've ever seen gloves, but they have a little V there, and this pattern doesn't have that. So I'm thinking, oh, this might be a bit, I don't know whether it'll set in as nicely. Already I know that the thumb's going to be too long, so I'm going to have to trim the thumb down to fit my hand. Sorry, I've got black dye on my hands. My granddaughter bought herself a little top from Shine, and it was white, a creamy white, and she wanted me to dye it black. And when I looked at it, I thought it was cotton, but it's not. It's a man-made fabric. Well, unfortunately, I went and bought some Rit dye, and I tried to dye it, and it hasn't dyed black. It's gone a horrible, dirty grey. So I think Grandma's going to have to give her some pennies to get herself a new top, and I think she'll probably appreciate that. Which is a word of warning, although it was a man-made material, and it does say that Rit does dye them, it didn't. It came out black, but when I rinsed it, I left it in the dye, turned it, stirred it and everything. But when it came out and I rinsed it under the tap, it came out a horrible yucky grey, and it had a few streak marks on. So not exactly how I expected it. Not as good as the machine dyes that I use for cottons. But then again, that's my second attempt with Rit dye, and it's obviously this one's been a failure. The previous one worked well because I dyed a bra. I don't think I've got it on. Have I got it on? If this is pink, I dyed this bra. No, I didn't. This is the black one. I bought a flesh coloured bra, which I didn't like the colour of, and I dyed it pink with a Rit, and it turned out nice pink. But that obviously didn't take. So, I'm going to have to give her some money to get it. So it was only about £5 or £10 or something, so she can get herself a new one. So I'm going to get on with this, get on with these orders, and as I say, I'm getting messages from people saying they haven't received their stuff. This Royal Mail's on strike today. They were on strike on Friday. We've got a little window of 2 days, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, and then they're on strike on Thursday, I think. So not looking good for getting posts out to people. So we'll get on with our work. Foul play in the Great Hall. I simply don't understand, young Lord William said. He was sitting with his head in his hands, in an armchair next to the bed where his brother Malvin lay dead. "He was right as rain yesterday. We spent the evening together and ate in the great hall." "You're repeating yourself, sir. That's the 4th time you've told us the same thing," Inspector Lestrade said. "You're repeating yourself, sir. That's the 4th time you've told us the same thing," Inspector Lestrade said, interrupting him impatiently. He looked up at Holmes and me and shook his head indignantly. "This is no help at all. Lord Malvin is dead, but there's no indication he died of anything other than natural causes." I sniffed. There was an odd musty and mouldy smell in the room. My friend must have noticed it too, because he bent over the dead man's face, wafting the air towards him with his hand. "You were in the hall, you say?" he said, turning to Lord William, who nodded. "Lydia had just brought us drinks." "Lydia?" Holmes asked. "Our cousin. She's gone to lie down. This is too much for her nerves." However, Holmes wasn't interested in the state of the relative's nerves. "What drinks did she serve?" "Whisky, of course. She had decorated the tumblers with sprigs of fir. With Christmas just around the corner, there were even little pine needles cut up and frozen in ice cubes. Lydia always takes such great pains with everything." Holmes nodded. "Tell me, Lord William, did you not have a whisky?" "I certainly did. In fact, I drank mine first, before the ice cubes had time to melt. I prefer my whisky neat and didn't want it to get too diluted." My friend nodded. "Just one last question. When you and your brother are both dead, who's the next in line to inherit your father's fortune?" William looked at him in surprise. "Lydia. My father's very fond of her too." "Oh, so do you think Lydia's poisoned them?" "Pine needles cause poison, dissolve into the whisky, some reaction with the whisky, and Bob's your uncle, you're dead. Let's find out at the end." So, number 11. Where is number 11? Oh, 11's a bed, I think, because there is 11D and 11B and 11A. So it's a lady in bed. So we've got number 11 is a bed, and number 12 is... Where's number 12? Number 12, I should see it because there's less stuff here. Oh, there's an 11D, I need that one as well. And number 12 is... Where's number 12? Oh, there's number 12. Number 12 is a little cockerel. A bird? Cockerel? Oh no, pheasant. So I think that will probably go outside somewhere. Maybe it's on the roof. Let's see if it's got a pheasant on here somewhere. Is there a pheasant there? It's probably... I think that might be the pheasant there. And this is the bed with the lady in. So we'll go and put those in their place. And number 11 is... Where's number 11? 28. Ah, there's number 11 on the side here. So let's get that open. See if I can open it. Which way to open it? Through there? That way? I think it's opening that way. Yeah, run my fingernail down it. That's it there. And number 11 is Grandma and Grandpa and Granddaughter. She's playing a lute. Is it a lute? I don't know. What's the song? Can I get a song to come out of it? Let's have a look. That was nice. And what was that called? That was called number 11, Every Year Again. And number 12 is "O Come Little Children." So let's find number 12. Number 12 is a big one. There it is. It opens in the middle, I think. Number 12 opens in the middle, if I can get my fingernail around it. And this one has a little boy and a little girl. He's got the drums, and she's dancing. Little boy and little girl, and she's dancing. There you go. It would be even better if you could, at the end of it, you could just press a button and it played every single one after the other. And that would take quite some time to listen to, but it'd be quite nice to listen to all the songs. Anyway, I've got my bed together. It's not been easy. I've had to stick it with some invisible tape on the inside. And I've got my bird, so I'll go and put them in the house. Temperature today is... What's the temperature today? 2.7. Minimum is 1.4 degrees. Oh, it's cold. Hello. Hello, little girl. Hello, little girl. She goes in there. I think they must be the children. And number 12 is... Where does number 12 go? Three, 24. Oh, where does 12 go? 18. I've lost it. Number 12 goes right on top of the chimney. There. So we have a partridge on the chimney. There we go. Let's get back to foul play in the Great Hall. What are you getting at, Holmes? Lestrade's voice rang through the hall. He'd obviously decided that he'd been called for no reason and had sat in a corner. Lord Malden died peacefully in his own bed. This isn't the case for the yard. Rather than answering the inspector, my friend had another question for Lord William. Did your brother's lips turn cherry red after he'd drunk his whisky by any chance? The young man nodded. And his pupils dilated, perhaps, and he turned pale? Lord William nodded again. He said he was feeling a bit poorly. He blamed his visit to the poorhouse 2 days ago, where many of the inmates are ill. He thought he might have caught something. Holmes shook his head and then beckoned Lestrade, who was still sitting in a chair in the corner looking increasingly bored. He asked him to bend over the dead man. I smell decay already, Lestrade said crossly. Mildew, Holmes agreed. That typical smell of toxin poisoning, of you poisoning, if you prefer to call a spade a spade. The decorations, said Lord William. That's right, said Holmes. They weren't from a fir tree as you thought, but from a yew tree. It was yew needles in the ice cubes as well. Eating just a few is enough to cause fatal poisoning. However, by the time it got to that point, your brother was in his room. And I, said Lord William. Yes, said Holmes, you are only alive because you drank the whiskey before the ice had time to melt. If you'd waited any longer, your caring cousin Lydia would be a rich heiress by now. There you go. So Lydia, it was Lydia who did it. Lydia was after the money, wasn't she? So, tomorrow, the riddle of the suffragette. So I'll catch you next time. See you tomorrow on the 13th, 12th? What date is it? See you tomorrow on the 13th of December. Bye!